Much greetings and love from Himalayan commune, Osho Tapovan. In the present state, everybody worried about the corona crisis, and I have received some question about the present day crisis, how we can solve it by meditative awareness. So I will start with that subject. I see there is only two problems in the world, no, and other problems are just the byproducts. The first problem is that we are living very unconsciously on this planet. We have been very cruel to the nature. We have not respected the ecological balance, and we have grown population, which this Mother Earth cannot sustain. No, in 100 years, 100 years before by the beginning of last century, we were 1.6 billion people on this planet. The planet is of the same size, but we have added 7, now we are 7.8 billion people. So we have added 6.2 billion people within 100 years. And we are adding 1 billion people every 14 years. The world population is growing by 1 billion people. So this earth cannot take that much load. So if we live unconsciously on this planet and we don't do justice with the nature, nature will take revenge in a very cruel way. So that is what we are facing in this world. So I see the one problem is, big problem, which nobody is going to address except Osho, my master. I met him 50 years before, and from that day, that was the world population was only 3.5 billion. From that day, he was saying that by the end of this century, the overpopulation will become a big problem and it will create many side problems. So there should be compulsive family planning, people should be aware and they should check population, otherwise there will be multiple problems by the end of century which we are facing now. So I see the biggest problem is overpopulation, and no religious leader or no government is serious about it. If we grow in the same way by the 2050, the WHO, UNA has also predicted that we will be about 9.8 billion people. So 2 billion people we will add. And this way, many of us will not be here. But the problem the next generation is going to face, 2 billion more people on this planet, if we don't live consciously. And by 2050, there's another projection that 54% population will be of India and China only. So everybody you will see on the street, every second person will be either Indian or Chinese. Because they are the biggest country and they are growing the population in a very unconscious way. China has little bit control it, but in India, every year 20 billion people are added every year. It's already overpopulated and they add 20 billion people every year. So this is the biggest problem. This is the biggest problem in the world. And the second problem is the economical disparity in the people and also in the region. The 75% of the economical activity happens in the 30 big cities of the world. And in 25% activity is spread all over the world. So you see, everybody would like to go to that place where there is economical activity. So this 30 cities is getting overpopulated, and these are the cities where maximum people are dying out of corona because it is overpopulated. So, and everybody would like to go to there. So the people have projected so that by within 10 years, about 1.5 billion people will migrate from poor country to the relatively richer country, and they will prefer to stay in a city, those 30 city, which has 75% of economical activity. And so these data are very dangerous. One thing I would like to also add that 97% of the world wealth is enjoyed by 30% people of the world, and 70% people of the world live in 3% wealth. So this disparity, so these are the main two reasons I see for the modern crisis. The main reason is overpopulation and the economical activity is centered in some region, and people, they like Walmart, his hourly income is $4 million hourly income, and his staff who is working 8 hours a day, he gets $11 1 hour. So see the disparity. So these are the two reasons I see the crisis in the world: the economical disparity, distribution of money, and overpopulation. So unless we address these two problems, the other problem are most of the other problems are byproduct of these two problems. So we have to address these two problems, and we have to be very consciously, without any delay, we should control population and also distribute the economical activity around the world. 30% of the human resources in the entire world, in average, is going into warfare and military industries. No? So that is useless. We have so much military gadgets, bombs, and weapons that we can destroy more than 70 planets of this size. So we have so much military gadgets, and still every year, even the poor country like Pakistan, India, and North Korea, they are not very rich country, they also spend a big amount of their money in creating atom bomb, hydrogen bomb, nuclear bombs. Majority of people does not have adequate drinking water in India and Pakistan, and there are a lot of other problems. But they are spending so much money just creating the killing weapons for which has no value. So we are living on this planet in very unconscious way. So we have to change our style of living, and we have to be conscious and respectful to the Mother Earth, and also we should consider the other people. So 97% people are living in 70% people are living in 3% wealth of the world, and 70% wealth, 96% wealth is enjoyed by 30% people. So how can be peace in this world, and how can this world be free of problems? I see this two area where we should address and we should make change, conscious change. Otherwise, other problems are byproducts of these two main problems. I have a limited time, so I will take questions. If you allow me, I take question. The first question is from my very dear friend who has given me this opportunity to address this meeting. He's Mr. Kith, is a very dear friend to me and a very inspired soul. He has visited Tapovan, he knows this place. So his question is, what was it like creating with Osho? What was he like as a person? How did you meet him, and who initiated Tapovan? I consider it my greatest blessing in my life that I met Osho when I was a student of engineering in India in '69. I met Osho. I was searching for Guru, Master, and I doing meditation. And that time there were contemporary Guru in India, and I visited almost all ashrams and read their books, and I was seriously searching for my master. Then one evening I met Osho, and he changed my life, and he changed my complete understanding. And since then, not only I am practicing his meditation, I am preaching his meditation. I've initiated more than 100,000 people in meditation and opened about 200 centers in 20 different countries and travel around the world to spread his message of love, life and celebration. So it is the greatest blessing of my life that I met him, and I have initiated about more than 100,000 people. It is also a blessing for them that they got the Osho message and they have changed so much. Because once you meditate rightly, you become a very conscious person, a loving person, a laughing person, and you become responsible for yourself and others. So that way we can create a better world to live in. So I enjoy my job. Then Kit, you have asked that who initiated Tapovan? Tapovan is a spiritual commune and is a spiritual growth center, meditation center. Yoga and meditation is our daily activity. So my master has a concept that by the end of this 21st century, slowly family will resolve. The husband-wife relationship, marriage already exists on this planet and it has served its purpose. Now, in this century, 21st century, both male and female are educated and they both earn. There was a time when male was dominating the family. So only one ego can live under one roof. Ego needs so many space. Too many ego cannot live under a roof. That's why family is breaking. When I was a child, in my home in village, my grandfather had 4 brothers and we were a family of 50 people. 50 people were eating in the same kitchen. We were eating in the same kitchen and living in the same house. But now, in 70 years, so much change has happened. Then I am living alone. Even children are in America, or so everybody is becoming a loner in this century, because big family is not possible in 21st century because of the so many things, our education system, our economical system, and most of it our mind and ego. That ego, it's very difficult for ego to accommodate with other people. In the ancient time, at least in the Maldives part of the world, the head of the family, grandfather or father, we all live according to his wish, and there is only one master in the house and we all have to obey him. So family continued. But now in 21st century it's not possible. So Osho visualized that family will break. But we are social animal. We cannot live alone. Male cannot live without female happy. Female cannot live without male happy. And we need friends, we need support. Sometimes we are sick. Sometimes we have a moment when we need support and love. So alternative of family also visualize communes. Commune is the alternative of family, where like-minded people can live together, can support each other, and without any legal bondage. No? The marriage is it's like a legal agreement. Either we go into court and sign before the magistrate a legal document. It is a declaration of love that you sign a marriage certificate, is a legal document, it is stamped by magistrate, or you go to the church or the priest give you certificate that you are allowed to live together. So it does not look good. It looks like a legal business document, no? And then even for separation you have to go to court, no? Uh, if, if you can't live together, then again go to the court, and that magistrate give you a certificate that now you are separate on this and this term. So this is a very ugly thing. The love needs a certificate, business agreement, and it should be endorsed by a magistrate or a priest. It does not look nice. So Osho has visualized that in 21st century, more and more people will slowly start living together. There will be marriage, but less and less people will be interested in marriage, and more people will start living together by understanding. As long as love is there, they will live together. So that is happening already. That's happening more in your part of world than in Nepal. But we will also follow you. We follow everything. What you do in America, they follow in Europe, maybe after a decade. And what they do in Europe, India follow after a decade. And whatever India do, we Nepali follow after a decade. But we are a follower. We dress like you. We eat like you. Our table culture, everything has changed. No, whatever America does it today, whole world will do it tomorrow. That's for sure. So that's why Osho started commune. The commune will be living together on understanding and love. No legal bondage. You have not to get a certificate from my state that we are living. We are at the moment in Tapovan, we are 80 people living 65 days of a year. And we have visitors from 80 different countries in good numbers, sometimes 300, sometimes 200. So 80 people who live here, there is a bond of love. We love each other more than we love our biological family members. No? Because in biological family member, there is a condition that you have to love because he is your brother or he is your sister-in-law or brother-in-law. No? But here we live each other because we like, and we like-minded people only live together. So it is a wonderful alternative of a family. We support each other when somebody is sick or somebody needs support. There is a supportive environment, and there is a love, and also there is a great freedom. People are free when they want their own space, nobody can disturb them. So this is the best alternative of a family for 21st century. That experiment we are doing in Nepal. We have about a dozen communes where people live like this. No, we don't have private property. The property belongs to the society. So we all share. And the advantages of commune is that 2 people can cook for 80 people, and 78 people has a time for more creative work. 2 people can clean the whole campus, and all other people have time for creative work, for meditation, for painting, or whatever may be their hobby. So it saves lot of labor, and also gives us lot of time to do something creative like writing a book. I am writing a book, or somebody playing a music, learning a music, or we all do meditation. So it is a very economical way of living. Like when we eat together, the kitchen becomes less expensive, and we get good quality of food, and just prepared by 2 people. Not everybody has to cook his own food, and we do alternatively. Someday we change the duty. So everybody does everything. We have respect for work. So I will request all of you, if you have a Corona wishing, no? Willing. We would to say God willing. No, now we say Corona willing. If Corona allows us to travel, then I will invite you to come and visit this wonderful Himalayan model commune. And I think on this blueprint, many commune have started, some of the commune in different part of the world, and the future lies not in family, but living together with understanding. That's my master vision. What is the meditative remedy for the present day crisis? all crisis, whether it is present day or past day or future day, all crisis is because of living unconsciously. When we live in unconsciously, we create problem for ourselves, we create problem for people who are around us, and we create problem for the world. No? So unconscious living is the root problem of all problem, or living in the ego and mind. No, because our education system, core training is such that it does not teach us compassion, it does not teach us love, it does not teach us tolerance. No? The whole university education is focused on bombarding information in our mind. No? So information-based education system. It is not intelligence-based education system. It is not compassion-based education system. So everybody becomes egoist, and the value of love and compassion and tolerance, which is more needed in this world. The crisis of this world is we don't respect each other. We don't respect each other's religion. We don't respect each other's color, the color discrimination. We don't respect each other's idea, way of living. No? We want that everybody should live according to my idea. Or the ego, every ego becomes so big that they think that nobody can think better than me. My country is the best country. My religion is the best religion. And in the same country, my color of skin is the most beautiful color, and all other are inferior. No, this is a general feeling all over the world, not only in America, everywhere. Even in Nepal, we have discrimination between higher caste and lower caste. People born in higher caste, they think they are more nearer to the God, or they are more wiser than others. No, so this type of discrimination, all type of discrimination, nationality also I consider a type of discrimination. Nationality is also a refined form of casteism or racism. No? In this 21st century, we should become a global citizen. The world has become one. I am talking to you from Nepal by the help of technology. Technology had joined us, and we have become a global citizen. Anything happen in China is spread to America within few weeks. No, so now world cannot live isolated. World has become a family. Technology has made us a family. So we should understand this, that now we cannot live isolated, and we cannot think that we are the most important nation and we should govern the world and the world should run as I wish. No, those days are over. Now we should consider that we are global citizen, and everybody has a right to live according to his culture or her culture, her way, and every religion should be respected. And we should function not only from head, we should function through the heart. One of the theme of today's discussion is also surrendering to the source. No, so where is the source? Our source of our life is in our being. But do anybody teach us that where the center of our being, and our being should be strengthened, not only our mind. No, the whole education system, whole training system is focused in just bombarding information in our mind, and we totally neglect other centers of our being. No, we have heart, which has a compassion, which can feel others. No, but there is no training for love. There is no training for compassion. So this education system needs total change, 100%, 180-degree change. There is a wastage of time. People spend so many years in university, and they get a certificate. I call it certified idiots. No, we have certificate for university, whether maybe we idiot, but we are a graduate certificate. No, Or maybe we don't have a human value. We may become a exploiter, but we have a certificate to rob. No, we get an university degree. So this education system, it should be completely changed. No? It should be intelligence based, compassion based, not information based. So, Suvarna, your question is, what is the meditative remedy of the present day crisis? The remedy is that we should become responsible and conscious. We have been living very unconsciously, unwisely on this planet. As I told you, we have grown population 6.8 billion people, and we are, if we don't change, by 2050 we will be 9.8 billion people. Just consider 2 billion more people are coming within short time, and they will rush to these cities, no? The 30 city of the world where they have 75% of economical activity, no? So those things has to be changed. So if we meditate over the problem, I think that every country, even the poorest country are spending so much money on warfare in military industry. That is the biggest industry in America. America expends 1.9 trillion in maintaining a big army and 1.8 trillion in weapon industry. No? So this is a huge amount of money. And even poor country like India and North Korea, they are poor country. Pakistan, they all spend so much money in creating nuclear bombs, which is it looks idiotic, no? When you don't have sanitation for the 40% people, we don't have access to the drinking water for 40% people, where 25% children are malnourished, and you are creating atom bomb for what? No? So that is the unconscious way of living. So that has to be changed. So this meditative mind can think over these problems. I am sorry to say that most of the politicians don't address the real problem. Their real problem is how to win the next election, and how to remain on the chair, how to remain in the power. Every country, politician has first priority that they should win the next election, or their party should win the next election, and they should be on the power. That is their main concern. The main problem which we are facing is not in agenda, not number one agenda of our politician. So we have to create a conscious people by meditation. Meditation make you a responsible person, a conscious person, a person who has a compassion, who thinks that other life is as important as my life. Other religion is as respectable as my religion, and other nation is as great as my nation. No? So that understanding meditation can give. So meditative mind, if we create more and more people, if we make them interested in meditation, then I think they will think consciously, they will act consciously, and more major problem of the world will be solved, because there is no real problem. World has so much wealth that everybody on this planet can live very happily. Technology has given us so much power. In the middle of 19th century, when James Watt created the steam engine and electricity was created, no? So the social scientists, I think the electricity was created around the same time by Thomas Edison and Tesla. So by the middle of the 18th century, it was thought that we have such a power in our hand, steam engine and electricity, and then subsequent many technology advanced. So social scientists thought that by the power of technology and science, we will create a better world. We will have a better healthcare, we will have a better home, we will have faster transport, and everybody will get educated, and everybody will get good food and health care, then world will become a paradise. What science has promised by the middle of 19th century, I think science has provided more than that. We never thought at that time that we will have a mobile phone which will keep in pocket, and we can communicate with people of any part of the world by just dialing some number. No? So science has not promised by the middle of middle century that we will have some gadget like I can talk to you from Nepal to America and we can have a conference. No? So science has delivered more than it has promised. But the social scientists thought that once this technology will develop and we will have a better home, better food, better education, better health care, then life will become a happy and world will become a paradise. One thing I will agree that our generation is the most comfortable generation on this planet. Never before any generation has so many gadgets, air conditioning, fast car, mobile phone, computers, what not, no? And so many gadgets for entertainment. So life is full of luxury, but unfortunately what social scientists imagine that life will become happy, it has just become the contrary. There is no more crisis in the world, more people commit suicide. Every day, thousands of people commit suicide, and they commit suicide in richer country. And mental problem more is in the richer country where they are every amenity to be happy. Why they are unhappy? No. This question should be addressed. America is the most one of the most richest country, and more people are on medication and psychiatric drugs and alcohol, and more people commit suicide, and just they do mass shooting without any reason. No? Innocent people are killed, and there is so much racial discrimination even in America. It's beyond imagination for anybody sitting in Nepal. A Nepali person cannot think that an American can do such mistakes. No? So it is the time that we should rethink over our whole structure of society, and we should change. This is time to change. So there is only two alternatives I see, my dear friend. Either we have to change and learn the art to living together happily, or we will have to vacate this planet called Earth. We cannot survive the way we have survived till today. We will have to do 180-degree change, and that change is possible through meditation. Only meditation can dilute your ego. It can free you from over-ambition, because everybody is suffering from over-ambition. Meditation can give you a understanding that whatever life has provided, if we know how to enjoy, it is more than enough, and we should not be over-ambitious. So meditation is a need of the day.